My face. My pretty face. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're doing well today. Sorry for confusing everyone. There is actually matches on the Thursday. I was saying the matches for the Friday, but tonight we have two more loser brackets. So we get to see the guys we saw yesterday, in fact, fight it out. Um, Also, the previous on the Sunday, I believe. So we see the guys from Wednesday. We see the guys from Sunday. I mean, yeah, should be Sunday. But anyway, we got CBEL versus MugoonKingdom. That were their battles were on the Sunday, and then we have PLEB versus ONFIRE coming up. Second after that, CBEL versus MugoonKingdom. I think we're gonna put. I'm gonna put CBEL gonna win over MugoonKingdom. Not sure about the PLEB versus ONFIRE. Whoopsie daisy. Probably gonna. I'm gonna have a toss up. I think it's gonna be about 50-50 between those two teams. ONFIRE doesn't seem to. ONFIRE probably actually is the stronger team, but PLEB has come back in terms of strength, I would say. Definitely performing much better than before. But nevertheless, we'll have to watch the CBEL battle before we get to that. The CBEL, definitely a better team. I think MugoonKingdom really got some really cool fancy stuff. But at the same time, they lack the kind of security in them that I feel CBEL probably has. I think the players from MugoonKingdoms are not terrible, but I think some of their strategy is unorthodox, which probably leads to their downfall in some cases. But maybe that's why they are that's why they're slightly more unique, I would say. Could also be a struggle to fight against probably a more grounded team like CBEL, but CBEL has been dropping in terms of quality from the battles I've seen from them, so not sure, not terribly sure or confident in CBEL in this case. Nevertheless, that's my bet. CBEL's going to win. I'm going to toss it up. I'm going to toss it up between PLEB and ONFIRE. But if I had to choose a person, I think I'd go for ONFIRE in this case, but always be surprised. Now we're just waiting for the first battle to start. Hopefully, we don't have to wait too long. But yes, I'm sorry for anyone that got the confusion from yesterday. Did say that there were no battles today, but there is actually. I forgot to check out the losers bracket. So, well, I mean, like, done. No point talking about. No point talking about what's to come. Well, on other days anyway. Gonna see, check out what they're saying. Whoop! Finally, here we go. So, have a look at their unit composition. We're here on Wall Fort. MugoonKingdom is going to be attacking first with CBEL defending. MugoonKingdom not going out with that. Usually I see more Claymore. CBEL's really the team that has really generated itself as a team that uses unorthodox strategies. We got the Alchemist again, lots of cavalry. So Winged Hussars are definitely coming back. Cataphract's not dominating the selection here. Important picks. Bagpipers? Whoa! Okay, CBEL's done this before, but like the double alchemist bagpipers look like they want to do the same thing that they did before, and they're gonna hold that. So they're gonna hold the base of the wall. So what happens in that scenario is very difficult to how to say it's very difficult to ballist. Well, I mean, a lot of the stages when you pass the A point, past the wall, a lot of times the attacking teams will start artillerying the defenders, picking up a little bit, not terribly a lot, but it can be effective, to say the least. So right now we've got a CBEL, 4 guys there on the B side, retreating. MugoonKingdom moving up. So in terms of strategy, I think the Bagpipers with the damage reduction when you activate their segue um, will come in handy taking hits. Not terribly sure whether or not the base armor increase helps protect their guys um, from the artillery. We have seen CBEL trade actually extraordinarily well, even with Alchemists and Bagpipers out. The Alchemist will definitely be really good in skirmishes in cases where your guys don't die instantly. And in this case, the artillery itself will not have a really good angle. You've got to really concentrate on those mortars, which does a lot of AoE damage, but not really kill anything. So those alchemists could definitely come in huge. The only problem is that they're gonna have to be careful with the alchemists. The alchemists don't particularly have that much health, but very interesting. I mean, like they're cheap. They're not exactly expensive, going for about 220 for either the alchemists or the bagpipers. Well, we still have the siege towers making their way, so a little bit of time has been wasted with a little bit of destruction. A little bit of a climb coming up from MugoonKingdom, probably suppressing. Did they destroy the siege? Man, I was just talking out my ass for a while and I didn't even notice whether or not they destroyed the siege towers. Otherwise, it's taken a while to get these siege towers up here. So, as you can see, CBEL not going to defend the wall. Definitely going to fall back right now. They're not falling back completely, so it's very interesting that they're setting up mortars of their own to kind of counter the enemy's position. This is really good in terms of strategy because it's preemptive. You're already ready set to go. If your guys can spot the positions of those mortars or the artillery that the attackers put down, you can um, get in those early hits. Early bird gets the worm, and also very, very effective in this case because they'll have to zero in onto your guys. With A being captured, B not getting captured is quite standard in this case. B bridge got destroyed. Can't really get to it right now. There is some protectors. So, like, in a previous battle, I was not expecting other classes besides Spear and able to make through the gap, but I saw 2 pikes and a pole axe actually make the jump with just base horses and stuff. So that is pretty cool. Unfortunately, there are heroes on that wall from CBEL, so it's not going to be easy for them to take it. Although it shouldn't be easy to take B at all, considering that if you were to cross the bridge, if you were to cross the gap, the how to say the you're completely unsupported. MugoonKingdom surrounding the grouping up on the wall break. Gonna see a nice the furthest section from the supply point. So if MugoonKingdom does manage to break through, CBL's gonna have to be a little bit careful about the front gate. But MugoonKingdom doesn't seem to have any intention of splitting their forces. I would think MugoonKingdom should take the split approach, having a couple guys go through the wall break, have a couple guys through the main gate. Otherwise, a really cool strategy is to go up onto the wall and go down. Otherwise, I'd split my forces 4 ways and go for almost like a complete surround. Could definitely send the defenders in a loop. But the engagement has already started. A little bit overextended. The guys at the front here. Mugoon gets marched on with that Imperial Pike March. A awkward charge there on the north side. So we got some cavalry coming in through. Really good. Coming in through the front gate, but straight into a medal. So it gets shredded. Right now, I can't. It's a bit far. I can't tell who's winning, but it does look like CBEL is successfully doing the hold as he expected. The overextension from the front section gets collapsed on really hard, but the rear section now getting the full weight of CBEL right now. The exchange was looking pretty in favor of the defenders here as they even push further out. Not sure if the Falconettis were really effective. A bit too far to get some really good hits, and also aiming for the base, the break in the wall. So gonna have some issues with the angle probably. But nevertheless, gonna reestablish themselves. MugoonKingdom lost out pretty big, I would say. When you're coming in, you over when they were coming in, like they massively overextended the line here. The CBEL was really close, and they really realistically managed to get a nice surround. You don't want to extend your line any further than you have to. Whether or not you're outplaying the enemy, because the more you stretch your lines, the easier it is for you to get counterattacked. Those Imperial Pike Marchers really did come in pretty big, smacking those medals at the front and probably in the mid section. I did see a second one. Unfortunately, the Alchemist did obscure the vision just a little bit. But as you can, as this hold will tell you, I mean, like as that battle has shown, even with picks like the Alchemist, the Bagpipes, the defender does have a really great amount of initiative when it comes into deciding the place of the battle. They could have allowed the attackers further in, but it doesn't it doesn't do well for the defenders to really allow the attackers to set up inside the wall. Taking the smart approach, going up onto the wall, MugoonKingdom going to do a little bit of mortaring. Probably not going to be very effective against CBEL. Going to go for that protection down there next to the base of the towers. Going to have to go for the mortars. Mortars not going to be very effective. Could see a lot of alchemists come out. And I mean, the alchemists, not sure if they were killed. Really didn't see if they were killed or anything. So they should really offset a lot of the offset a lot of the damage coming out from the mortars. We do see some Nafan guards. I think their names got changed to Siphonario. Siphonario? Siphonarioi. Siphonarioi? I think it's Siphonarioi. Although, I mean, I'll probably still call them Nafan guards, just because I much prefer that name since I'm more used to it. Although the historical reference for the Siphonarioi are much more concrete than some other references. Going down for the far side here, this is a strategy performed off by EFFS, but let's see if they can pull off the push. One of the major problems is that right now they did not engage CBEL immediately, and they're getting surrounded right now. So this is not good. Got the Falconettis really close. MugoonKingdom has Alchemist as well. That was unexpected. I did not expect them to have Alchemist. Engagement not starting off very strong here. Lots of cavalry actually comes out through the wall break, so definitely the battle is slow. CBEL's not going for a super aggressive style, throwing their troops in one by one, trading really badly, in my opinion. Cavalry going straight for that supply point, which is really good for Mugoon Kingdom. Gonna lock up that supply point, unable to get reinforcements. And CBEL also losing out pretty heavy, I would say. That Cataphract should have just went straight for that supply point. I don't know why that Cataphract turned around, but probably the sheer domination right now is in favor of Mugoon Kingdom. I say that, but hero-wise, whoa, both sides down to 7 right now. Both clocking down in terms of units, mostly cavalry coming out from either side. Actually, no. I think most CBEL has basically nothing on the field. I can't see anything from CBEL out on the field, so it's mostly Cataphract and Wing Stars coming out from Mugoon Kingdom. It stands to reason that the supply point being captured, reinforcements from both sides should start spawning in right about now. But CBL not going to give up the supply point without a fight with 2 minutes clocking down. I would think Mugoon Kingdom should send a guy to B, pick up the B for a little bit more time. You're really going to be desperate for time here. But at the same time, um, both sides should be clocking down in terms of quality of units. We should start seeing some lots of serfs, but we got some Medaus reinforcing that supply point in favor of CBEL. So CBEL definitely has some reserves left, which is a good sign, meaning that they should dominate. They should just generally dominate in the surf battle right now, since they do have slightly better quality units. The cavalry's got to be really important here from Mugoon Kingdom. Seems to be the only good thing left on the field. Unfortunately, getting locked up by Bastion Wild Flames, actually just smacking them with that fire. The Keshigs actually got locked up pretty hard. I'm going to guess there's a Tundra humans that just walked right through the center, and yes, indeed, lots of serfs from both sides. Those Medaus need to get to the C point very shortly. We have Royal Janissaries actually making their way towards the C point. Those guys are definitely going to be hearty, as those will beat out every single one of these serfs really easily. But slightly outnumbered here. Mugoon Kingdom still holding their own as they try and push, but reinforcements from the defending side keeps coming in, and it's a slow grind to attrition. Those Royal Janissaries did amazingly well cleaning up most of that pile, turning the tide really easily. Now completely in favor of CBEL, including the hero numbers 3 to 12, as CBEL gets more heroes. The attacking side, the God, as CBEL gets more heroes back, Mugoon Kingdom loses more. They finally sent someone to V, but intercepted by CBEL in this case. Wouldn't really want to extend this battle any further anyway. The natural unit numbers have switched. So yeah, that is the first battle between CBEL and Mugoon Kingdom, and kind of to be expected. The performance from both sides are pretty nice, but definitely going to be in favor of CBEL. I think CBEL will be the stronger of the team to take it home. We'll get to see their attack in a short minute. Get to have a look at the scores though. Not terrible, Mugoon Kingdom. Their average score coming out to be pretty high. The hero kills were kind of stacked for the top 5, maybe 7 guys. Oh, well, I mean, like the top half of their team, most of the kills were coming in there. A little bit more of a spread for CBEL, but probably just more kills in general coming out. So that is very important. That killing the enemy heroes could really be a deciding factor. I didn't get to 2 guys from CBEL, actually 3 actually got permadeath by the end of that. So Mugoon Kingdom definitely putting up a good fight. Both sides were clocking down to basically no units. I think mostly just Surf left over by the end of that. There was a couple of strong units, but I don't think I don't think Mugoon Kingdom had anything significant left over. it still stands to reason that MugoonKingdom lost out too big on the first section, but managed to pull back quite a bit in the second section, which is probably how the how it showed for the ending section, that CBEL only had a couple of high tier units left. So that is really cool to note that attrition. Well, I mean, like unit quality, like counting units is really important. Like if you lose big, you gotta win big. Unfortunately, MugoonKingdom weren't able to bring back the massive unit deficit. In terms of high quality units, that is, they were able to use a lot of their serfs, but I don't think they would have been successful pushing with just serfs, as it was, by the looks of it, CBEL was superior in terms of hero killing potential, and definitely did come out on top. Most of MugoonKingdom really taken a heavy hit as the heroes kept clocking down. But at the same time, those units really dominating the field. High quality units, they'd be terrifying to face. You got to take them out as fast as possible when you've basically got nothing but serfs. Well, I'll be going to be silent for a second as we wait for the next battle. I am eating wonton noodle soup, homemade. My dad cooked it with his special recipe of um, minced pork and beef or something. I don't know, minced beef or something. Alrighty, here we are on the second battle between CBEL and MGK. Another wall fort, very standard. Gonna pop, 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 pop. Gonna see come. We're gonna see those unit compositions. So dropping one of the alchemists, but brings in the bagpipes still. Um, I think the bagpipe pick is more valuable than I think we expect. Then I mean, like it's underestimated. The bagpipe pick being very underestimated. The alchemist pick still a bit strange to me. Unless you're skirmishing for a really long time, they don't create the value that I think they. I don't think they create that value. Only six of them, only able to heal six at a time, and definitely just really struggle to keep especially in high intensity skirmishing. Skirmishing ends up killing like a whole bunch of your units or wounding a lot. If it just wounds a lot, that's really great. The alchemist can heal them up, but um, you're normally in skirmishing does lead to larger fights. But I think the bagpipers could be like the bagpiper is going to be really valuable. One thing that probably understated is the armor. It's a base armor increase, so that base armor increase. Well, it's a percentage base armor increase, but or is it? I can't forget. Um, that armor increase is pretty good. Like it protects you from units that have generally lower penetration but a lot of damage. Um, Archers, in particular, suffer a lot when bagpipers are singing. Whoa, CBL goes right across that bridge. No one's stopping them. using that domination from the heroes. Did say that the heroes were stronger on CBEL's side, but they also are way more confident as they go right across that bridge, take the B section, take the B real easily before that bridge even goes down. Nothing stopping them. Right now, we have MugoonKingdom actually going to respond with units and heroes. One poleaxe does get onto the point. MugoonKingdom does take the road out of there as the PLEB. Oh, nice hit on that one. But I don't believe that it would have taken out any of the shield maidens. Got to really what the trap doesn't do so much damage that'll just one hit things, but definitely a massive hit. Those shield maidens will be out for a while. But with the bridge not being down, their own units are now coming across. So MugoonKingdom still playing that pressure and sorry. CBL still applying that pressure. MugoonKingdom actually leaves. Not going to contest the B section here. Surprisingly, this would be the first B side rush that we've seen in this tournament. Be the first time that a B side rush where it was semi defended. Well, not defended, but definitely. MugoonKingdom probably wanted to destroy that bridge, but weren't able to. No, I don't think MugoonKingdom set up to destroy the towers. So at the same time, MugoonKingdom probably weren't planning to destroy the bridge. Weren't planning to destroy the bridge. Now that I think about it, I don't think they wasted any resources for that. The rush from CBEL though makes it so it's going to be a bit like this next section could be a lot of just simply artillery. 13 minutes. Well, I mean 12 and a half now. Could use six, maybe 6 minutes. 6 minutes of that for just using artillery. I wouldn't use any more than 6 minutes in this case. I'd really think that if you get down to 6 minutes left to go, you really need to start thinking about a push, and also if you just you waste a lot of resources as well in a long range fight, which is not guaranteed to pick up very much anyway. So I think having access there on the B side really pressures the center. MugoonKingdom a little bit stretched, but they have the majority dominating on that. How to say, on the supply side. It's really good that they have a bunch of serfs. A lot of times people forget to protect the base point. I mean the point, and kind of let heroes just walk up to it and just pick up a little bit, just a little bit, not a lot. But every little bit counts. Can't afford to allow the heroes just to pick up those free points. Those free cap points. I mean. CBEL going in for a long artillery session. They're using Falconetti gunners on cool angles, shooting towards that supply point, shooting towards the center. Although I do have to wonder whether or not it's going to be terribly effective. Um, in terms of unit count, I think only 10 odd units have died. I don't think that many have died actually. It's going to continue like this. Also, the units that have died looks to be serfs. So MugoonKingdom doing very well surviving a lot of this artillery. Royal Janissary just walked straight into that one. Yeah, MGK is Mugoon Kingdom. Well, should be, I'm pretty sure. Bye bye. Huh? No, this is yours. Yes. Bye, honey. Oh, yo. Uh, okay, Mugoon Kingdom now retreating. Probably gonna now set up for their real push. It is clocking down. They've wasted 3 minutes on shooting those artillery, and again, this is the point where it's just like you should have been getting ready to set up at the same time. You were trimming the enemy. Position is key. This now large gap in the siege allows Mughal Kingdom to to set up. Now, most of the heroes there at the supply point, so definitely can react pretty easily by swapping out to a different unit, even if they have just serfs. Mughal Kingdom, um, Mughal Kingdom is surprisingly very resilient in terms of getting shot, and I mean, it's probably one of the things that Wall Fort is not. I mean, probably not really good for Wall Fort to use a lot of artillery in this section anymore. It was really effective at the beginning, but I mean, like when we started CBL, a lot of mortaring sections was really effective because people just took it and stood at the supply point. But now people kind of they now kind of back off from it. CBEL has domination here. Gonna go for that C point right now. Not gonna be surprised if they pick up a little bit. Wow, massive pull down from that far side point. Shield wall at a awkward angle, I would say, but could be very good as CBEL is stopped in their track. That shield wall doing an amazing work right now. Not to mention those Bastion Wild Flames. Medal's trying to force their way through with Lethal March. Lots and lots. Wingasar coming in from the rear though. Oh man, they missed the Shenji. But the second charge goes in for the Shenji, and the Medals did not clean up. Does look like a sweep for CBEL here, actually coming out really big with that flank, but cleaning up. Oh, maybe a bit late actually. They will manage to pull out their cavalry um, before. Well, Claymore's actually locked up the cavalry. That's very surprising. Um, not surprising to see here that CBEL actually wins out on the hero battle, but the flank that was a massive flank. Two Wingasar charges coming in hard, smacks that side section, smacks the ranged units, and I mean, realistically, if that kept going, I think Mugoon Kingdom could have pushed them all the way out. The only problem is in domination, like lots of medals, lots and lots of medals. You were relying on those Bastion Wild Flames, you were relying on those Shenjis to create the value, and I think they did create a lot of value, but the only problem was that you lost pretty big in the end with those flanking cavalry chargers. So just two charges managed to sweep up like 100 plus kills. So that's pretty devastating, I would say. That's pretty devastating. Now pushed back to the last point. Mughal Kingdom still has quite a bit of in their arsenal. Um, CBEL also has a lot of reserve support. You got those. Oh, we're looking at a lot of cavalry coming out from Mughal Kingdom. Mughal Kingdom. Um. Oh well. Here's the thing. I think CBEL kind of misplayed in the first section because they lost a lot of Madao. But I could also say the same thing to MugoonKingdom. It could come down to a charge fest. I think the one with more cavalry should come out on top, but whether or not those Imperial pikemen can stand the test against the cavalry, we will have to see. We still have a couple of medals from CBEL, though, probably one or two. Not terribly many, but they still got those Imperial pikemen as well. Imperial pikemen coming out from MugoonKingdom could lock up a couple of the cavalry. If they do lock up those cavalry and allow their cavalry to kind of reign supreme, could be big. MugoonKingdom actually going in with a strange flank here. Not sure what they're trying to brute force, but they're going for this. Imperial Pikeman does walk very late, though. Instantly claps two of those Cataphract, but the Cataphract now move on to the second section. Winged Hussars locks up the other Winged Hussars, and whoa! MugoonKingdom is flanking really hard. This is a very strange battle for CBEL. Wants to move forward, but have to be worried about their rear. Royal Janissaries and Shield Maidens pressing forward. This Treb is a little bit awkward. We got a Winged Hussar charge. No, not even a charge. Just walks them straight in, being very aggressive. Treb should land in a few seconds. Here they come. The Royal Janissaries and the Shield Maidens might clean this up. The Halberdier Sergeants finally moving up could turn the tide. Unfortunately, Royal Janissary does clock out. Shield Maidens barely surviving. We got Tundra Human wanting to charge, but charges on an awkward angle, misses everything. Now on patrol, will get locked up by those Medals. Both sides lost heavy. Equal trade, I would say. Not terribly sure who has more or who has less. This could come down to a sheer surf battle. 6 minutes of surf battling. Woof. I also think this is going to be very exciting to see whether or not MugoonKingdom can survive another set of death. What I didn't realize is that, remember, MugoonKingdom did lose a lot of heroes. Nearly every single one of their heroes died. About 5 or 6 heroes died here, so the possibility of this next battle could be decided by the number of heroes left is very important. I do believe that it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult for MugoonKingdom to maintain the fight if their heroes start getting clocked out. But at the same time, that could be the same thing for CBEL. But CBEL has the benefit of the doubt that they probably can do it twice. 15v15, so no one's on permadeath just yet. Whoa. In terms of unit quality, CBEL is on the up and up. As you can probably tell, about half of the remaining units from CBEL is actually good tier units, while probably a third is remaining for MugoonKingdom. Trebbing comes in. These supports will be very, very important, as well as artillery. Artillery left MugoonKingdom, actually. A ballista being used. Probably going to go for those kills on the heroes. Good line setup here. Unfortunately, as you can see, the sheer number of serfs that just died out from MugoonKingdom is kind of insane. This rear section actually getting cleaned up. We've got some Winged Hussars going straight through that serf. Oh my goodness. The numbers change really quickly when it's just serfs. And you got those high tier units just going absolutely crazy. MugoonKingdom might hold this. I think MugoonKingdom can push them out. The cavalry will win the day. Holy cow. They had 2 whole Winged Hussars. It was a brief second. I didn't notice how many Winged Hussars they had left, but they 2 whole Winged Hussars just charged right through that line. They managed to not get caught up by those Medals, and the Medals actually died to the unit. Died to the serfs and heroes. So both sides being very close in heroes right now. 9 to 10. It was 8 to 10. 2 more spawns from CBEL. CBEL would be slightly ahead in terms of heroes left, but 3 minutes left to go. Overextending. We just lost 1 more from MugoonKingdom. Needs to get out of there. Actually, no, that musket was up on top. He was safe. He was way, way safe. just that 1 hero from MugoonKingdom down on the ground, way overextending, gets his ass clapped. Not unexpected. Alrighty. Surprisingly, we see Demez Spearman could actually be really good. You can have a Demez Spearman, like a shield wall with any of the pikeman units, whether or not it is Demez pikeman or village watchman or the pike militia. The cavalry is going to be a pain in the ass. The bagpipers are actually coming out. Whoa! Like we can't see the effect. But here comes the effect. This is really scary because both sides are down to serfs. Um, CBEL is actually up on heroes, and it does look like MugoonKingdom is actually capped on the number of heroes being around about 11. This not going to be good if the cavalry does come through unimpeded, and it does look like they sweep right through. Man. I can't tell who's dominating or who's losing, but it does look like those cavalry did a number on the mass, but we are clocking in. We're clocking in down from CBEL having actually less heroes now than before, and we're going in with barely anything left. We have a couple of Royal Janissaries just kind of walking around. CBEL has the heroes here. Whoa, that was a massive change over. I did not see 4 heroes die. Um, they're going in for another charge by the looks of it. Someone's swapping over, but MugoonKingdom is down to 3 heroes now. Not Royal, Iron Reapers left on the field here. Actually, the only thing holding this point right now are Iron Reapers, and they just died. 1 minute, 10 seconds left to go. Very few, um, very few heroes left for MugoonKingdom, but a massive respawn. Cataphract still left, able to be deployed. We still look. The cavalry is still alive, but because the heroes are very difficult to kill, actually takes out one. Oh no, sorry. I thought that was one of the heroes from CBEL actually got taken out by the cavalry charge. Um, 9-4 right now. Super desperate hold. Those cavalry will be a pain in the ass as they walk around. But MugoonKingdom is doing an amazing job to distract the heroes with the units and surviving just long enough. I bet every single one of the players is switching to short sword right now, trying to survive as best they can. Another cavalry stopped. The constant charge stopping is quite good. It allows them to maintain pressure on this point. 15 seconds left to go. One last hero. Another short sword. This short sword alone can do it. And we've already clocked over. Woof. My question exactly as well. MugoonKingdom, your cavalry. My goodness, you were holding back on that cavalry for so long, and you managed to keep it in your sleeves. That trump card of the cavalry came in absolutely massive. We're going to come down to another field battle. This is really exciting, guys. Ooh, MugoonKingdom. I definitely underestimated you. Underestimated you guys. Not going in with the Claymore pick, but now going in with the attrition style. But holding those cavalry back. MugoonKingdom, you're surprising me today. And that surprise is in the form of that cavalry. That cavalry was golden. That cavalry was your trump card. They managed, like, those cavalry coming out from MugoonKingdom really carried the day for them. One, not two, but 3 times they carried the day. 3 times they carried the day for MugoonKingdom. Those cavalry surviving was also very crucial. And as you can see, one guy going out with with over 1,400 unit score. Definitely something to be proud of. Unfortunately, MugoonKingdom does have a little bit of a skewed performance. That one bottom ranker, the bottom 5 for MugoonKingdom, also doing very poorly. A little bit different from CBEL, which has a more equalized performance. So probably, probably just a case where MugoonKingdom's one, where their team set themselves up for a couple of players to come out big, while CBEL has a better average performance across the board. Never expected MugoonKingdom to win after they lost C and supply easily. I would say the C push wasn't one-sided. I think the C push was pretty even actually. Um, I definitely think that Mughal Kingdom did lose, but I don't believe that they lost in such a terrible way. I think CBEL only had a few more high tier units than them after the C push. But after the base push, both sides basically lost equal number of high tier units, and that was a straight equal fight. They had to have pulled it back during the third push. That third push was the equalizer, allowing the cavalry remaining for Mughal Kingdom to really, really dominate it uncontested. I don't think CBEL had very much answer to the cavalry by the end of that. We will go down to a field battle, and it's exciting to see another field battle. We're seeing a lot of field battles lately. I'm gonna eat a little bit more of my food. It is getting cold, but after man, I was hoping it didn't go down to a field battle. That way I can eat, but at the same time, I love the fact that these teams are giving it their all. Definitely not definitely no slouches from either side. They're thinking hard, they're playing hard, and both sides are giving it absolutely everything in order to maintain their spot in the tournament. This is the losers bracket, so once you lose, you are out of the tournament. This is your last shot. And you got to defeat all of the guys that did lose, and you're going to have to and then you get to play off against the champions. Kind of like a wild card. But nevertheless, I do think one of the best things about the losers bracket is that um, you get a lot of comeback. You get a chance of a comeback. I love the chance of a comeback. This is like kind of the dream, coming back from behind. You lose really hard in the main tournament, and then you fight your way through all of these people only to face the person that killed you in the main section again. I mean, that would be pretty hilarious. All right, gonna Here we are on a field battle. I I mean, I agree. CBEL probably has the better chance of winning, but my God, Mugen Kingdom is definitely sending it. Very heavy on the multiple tier fives. Surprising, we got some Iron Reapers and like Shield Maidens, Royal Janissaries, Iron Reapers coming out from Mugen Kingdom. A little like Nev V coming in with Imperial Pikemen, um, Imperial Pikemen, Cavalier Sergeants, and Banner Guard. That Banner Guard, oh my goodness, that could be huge. A little bit less cavalry coming out from CBEL. CBEL, surprisingly, going in with less cavalry than Mugun Kingdom. Mugun Kingdom, not going cav heavy, so I don't think an AC push is going to happen right now. From either side, I think it's going to be a kind of a stalemate. We're going to see a slow field battle. Or I'm going to bite my tongue here as Mugun Kingdom just going straight for B and A. B, C, and A, actually. They're going for a triple split. Majority of CBEL heading towards that B section. This, oh man, this catch, the Mugun Kingdom could turn this corner, charge these guys that are rotating to the C point, A will be quickly grabbed. They'll crush down on the B section. CBEL does contend with the B. Pulls off from the A. Nice pressure. A little bit, MugoonKingdom actually in a better position right now. This is some high level shit. This is like faking out this AC push, not committing, but now in the better position. Again, could charge this section here. Doesn't. CBEL now rotating through. Alright. Like, MugoonKingdom going in with a defensive style. I love it. I love it. Um, that was really good pressure. That was really good pressure. Not a single person died yet. And MugoonKingdom was able to gain the advantage purely based on how they move. Very smart. Very, very smart. They saw CBEL rotate, and they knew that CBEL would be a very tough fight. Whoa! What is this? MugoonKingdom? You guys are mad. You guys are actually mad. Could they go all in here? They have medals. They have Iron Reapers. I mean, not Iron Reapers. Royal Janissaries at the front here. Oh my god. This MugoonKingdom playing 4D chess right now. Their forces at the base point does get cleaned up, but they're going in on the C point right now. How many people are at the C point right now? There's just a medal. There's just one medal. Could brute force this with cavalry, and they try to. Unfortunately, not a very good smack with the Oh man, but the Iron Reapers are coming in, and medals could be a lot of pressure coming in for this C point. CBEL is playing to the tune of MugoonKingdom as they swing back from the base back to the sea, and these medals left on these points actually doing really well for them. We got the heroes. We got grape shots already deployed. Man, MugoonKingdom is sending CBEL through a loop. Although they have lost on a couple of sections, I do think that MugoonKingdom is still in the stronger position. They haven't fully engaged this front line though. What is happening? They're getting surrounded. Oh man, that is brutal. That's how you do a Thunderstruck into a cav charge. CBEL dominating the attacking forces. MugoonKingdom could probably have to pull back now. Maintaining pressure. There is Fenris pack on this base point. Goes with the Winged Assad charge. Winged Assad not very successful in this case. Probably trying to get them out now. MugoonKingdom losing a lot of exchanges, and they're losing a lot. Man, CBEL definitely holding their own. They're very solid. They're focusing on one battle at a time. Definitely not leaving too many gaps, but MugoonKingdom, that medal, a single medal, you did terribly in order to take that out with the cavalry combo. You hit that with the Thunderstruck, you hit him with the cavalry. That is a dead medal because if a medal's on its ass, the cavalry does all of its damage. That was a misplay by MugoonKingdom. Mechanical skill by the player failing to perform the maneuver in order to place that pressure on the medal. So I'm gonna have to give it to that single medal holding that C point super well. Double catches coming out from the base point and the A point. C point, sorry, by CBEL. MugoonKingdom is going to be on the back foot now because CBEL is up, and they're up by quite a few units, I would say. The big battle going to kick off. Whoa! They still sent another contingent towards the C point, placing CBEL in a bad position, but the push has not been stopped. They're going in for it. You're going to have to break these medals someday, and you have to trade up. The Shield Maidens are going in strong. Gonna lose the B point at this rate. Or not, actually. Just Medal's left. The entire back line getting absolutely dominated by the cavalry from MugoonKingdom. MugoonKingdom actually are gonna sweep out CBEL here. Oh my goodness. Some sacrifices, the A point getting grabbed by CBEL, but it gets stopped by respawning heroes. The Medals left over are holding. We'll kill some cataphracts or at least wound them. You want to create as much value as possible, so you got to have those units in. Um, oh my goodness, MugoonKingdom is a couple of them are on permadeath. Oh no, a couple of them will be permadeath if they die again. Could be a factor in the last 5 minutes of the game. Can't really afford to die. Yeah, CBEL has more heavy infantry. Um, they can't withstand the cavalry coming out from MugoonKingdom right now. So CBEL definitely on the back foot. If MugoonKingdom still has those cavalry on the field, I don't see them anymore right now, but they should still be alive. We got a couple of surf units already coming out from MugoonKingdom, so that could be a desperate pull as we're clocking down. Well, MugoonKingdom's already got cut in half right now. The numbers they're they're pretty low on unit numbers in terms and like going to switch to quality right now. Fighting off with CBEL. CBEL presents a very strong front right now. Really need to turn the tide in terms of unit. Winkerstar's going to come through the center right here. Smashes right through. I don't think CBEL was able to stop that even if they wanted to. Another Winkerstar charge coming right through. Slams right into that Medal, but Medal support also. Whoa! Cataphracts coming screaming through on that angle. My goodness. I can't see anything from this far away, but MugoonKingdom being very desperate, throwing their lives away. This is going to be a downfall of MugoonKingdom because a lot of them were close to permadeath. You cannot afford to die. You cannot afford to die in this case. But I'll be honest, the domination from like the unit quality has been slipping. Has been slipping nearly every single fight by MugoonKingdom. They are losing like the problem is that they have really good pressure, really cool engagements, but they're losing the trade. They're losing the trade pretty hard as well. And now this is a nail in the coffin kind of deal. They have only serfs are getting swept up by the remaining cavalry from CBEL, and CBEL doing super well at attritioning out some of the best units from MugoonKingdom. MugoonKingdom, I'm gonna have to say that you did really cool shit on this build battle, but you just couldn't afford the attrition. You couldn't afford the maneuvers as you lost more and more of the small battles. It's small battles. We had a lot of small battles at the beginning, and finally the big battle at the end. Now we're seeing a lot of pressure from CBEL just to push. MugoonKingdom is basically out. Like, they have nothing left. Serfs won't hold back the cavalry that's remaining, and I don't see any cavalry left. That Cataphract and that Winged Hussar. This Cataphract is the only good unit coming out from MugoonKingdom, and it's going to get hammered. Surprisingly, we have some Nafan cards here. That final unit from. Oh wait, hang on. There's another Cataphract. Basically, not even a whole unit of Cataphract, just half a unit of Cataphract. Not even anyone defending that home point right now. MugoonKingdom is all in on pressure. They want something. They want a point, and they're going to try to get it, but it's just not enough time. Too much losses early on from MugoonKingdom. MugoonKingdom has no more pressure on the map, and probably going to be. Well, I'm gonna call it. I've already called it. Like, a triple cap is going to come out, and the moment that triple cap is complete, that is like way way over. It's already over, but like Mugoon Kingdom, if you could have pulled off some of those maneuvers better, like if you could have at least traded up, if you could have at least traded up, that would have been massive. Like, oh man, it like small mistakes, a small mistake on the micro. The macro was amazing though. Like how you moved was amazing, but on the micro scale, your skirmishes ended up down. You cost yourself too much for the trade, and when you don't trade well, you end up losing in the end. Really cool movement, really cool strategy, but your quality. I okay, so it's also probably to do with probably a little bit of quality of players. I don't think going for the enemy base point was a bad move. I think with fewer units and lost C at the same time, it was a split. The only problem is that the push towards the base should have happened a little bit later. C needed to have more pressure on it. Only okay, so like Mughal Kingdom needed to grab C in order to place the kind of pressure, to get that kind of pressure on CBEL. But the problem is that it was a single medal. One medal held for about a minute. I didn't even see a hero there. The hero was not even there at C point, but they held C very easily, and surprisingly, the micro of Mughal Kingdom couldn't take out that medal. Unmanned, by the way, sitting at sea. Even if it's cavalry, you should be able to trade up on that medal very easily. Mistakes from Mughal Kingdom was not like again their macro, like where they went, how they moved, amazing. CBEL was definitely under a lot of pressure, trying to protect, trying to protect those important things. Couldn't be offensive that entire time. But you drop the ball when it comes into the engagements. When you come in with those fewer units, you need to go in hard. You need to claim a unit. You need like when you're at the base point, you don't simply just try to capture it and wait for the enemy to come. You find the enemy, kill the enemy, and keep fighting. That's the kind of pressure you kind of need. No problem, Mesame. I'm going to probably silence myself and also eat myself while we wait for the next battle to start up. But Mugoon Kingdom, like, definitely pulling some interesting stuff out. I don't believe their strategy was bad. I think the execution was bad. I think they played very well. Even that first play was super gorgeous, gorgeous to watch. Nevertheless, catch you guys in a bit. Yeah, they're not bad. They're not bad. Definitely have grown. Their performance have always been on the lower end of CBL, but they come back for every CBL so far, and definitely giving it their all. Like sometimes when watching like some certain teams, like it's such a joy. It's such a joy. Right now, they're waiting on one more player. So it shouldn't be too long. Hey, I love Constantinopolis as well, man. Also, Bread probably designed it. You also have to remember that. Oh wait, is Bread the map designer? I can't remember. I think Bread's the map designer. Whether or not he worked, I think he worked on Constantinopolis. But I mean, like Constantinopolis is the most interesting map anyway. Um, don't particularly like Heilong Fjord out of the newer maps. Linway Fortress. I can get behind it. I just, I don't like it at the same time. I like it and I don't like it. La Coloria's not. That's a shit map. Um, I think the concept for Quinn Ruins is really good, really cool as well. Um, revamp Constantinople. Not Constantinople. The revamp Conqueror City. Absolutely hate. I don't like it. Also, just the number of AI that just keeps spawning. Like, Jesus Christ, those Shenji grenades. Stop throwing them. Fine if it's just like. It's fine if the Shenji's just shooting me and stuff, but come on. More often than not, like I get absolutely bodied by those random Shenji grenades. Especially during tier 4 as well. Absolute headache to face. Hey! They just said that Morgan's gonna cast in the finals. Oh, okay. They're not sure. They're not sure. Really cool costume. Yeah, they're talking about how his costume was really cool. I think Morgan was the only caster that presented any kind of energy when casting this tournament. And it's true. Like without Morgan's energy, the stream is really bad. But at the same time, like it really great energy from Morgan, but he doesn't know very much about the game. You can tell if the caster knows about the game because they have a lot to say, but a lot of times it's just like flat reaction. It's like the energy's there, but the knowledge to back up to be a really good caster is just not there. And I mean, like I've said this, I was talking about this before as well. Um, when you're a caster, like even if you don't play the game, you need to know the game. You need to know the game so well that you're like on a pro level. Like just like that's why it's best to have casters who are either retired players or um I mean it's always good to have the opinion on on retired players that actually played the game. Players naturally will have more knowledge of the game, but you have to have that knowledge in order to be a good caster. And that's why I say you don't necessarily need to play the game, but it's best if you do play the game. And the developers, people say developers don't play their own game, and I'm inclined to believe that because developers have a vision for the game, but they've never experienced playing their game from the beginning learning the kinds of things that we learn on the way. They kind of have like the backdoor knowledge. They know things they know things that the average player will never find out. But at the same time, even just surface level stuff, they will their view will look weird because they have that back knowledge. All right, we're on Sun City. They did mention this before, but wow, Sun City, not something that I would attack in CBL. Um, Lots of berserkers though. On fire. My goodness. Berserkers galore. We got lots of claymores coming out from plebs though. The claymore pick has been picked up by plebs. Was MugoonKingdom the first time? They had like 4 or 5 claymores, but now we're coming out with about 5 claymores? 5 claymores, 3 berserkers coming out from plebs here. It's pretty impressive. Berserker easy mode, yeah, no. I totally agree. Berserkers are overtuned as fuck. I would get rid of Berserkers. I would get rid of Berserkers purely for the fact that I hate their design in the game. They are a damage dealing tank sustaining tank. So that means they deal damage, they have sustain, and they tank. They're an absolute monster. And I mean, like, that could be the same about the Varangian guards, but they're not all 3 at once, which is also changing. I mean, I've been surprised how tanky axe mode can be sometimes, but nevertheless, yeah, Varangian guards are broken right now because their damage potential is too high. What they're doing in axe mode is too effective. Nevertheless, massive B-side push coming out from ONFIRE. Gonna break down that B-side door. Probably go through and probably go up one of the stairs. It's not uncommon to see, not uncommon for a Sun City to just go straight through that front gate. It's super wide and super dangerous for the defenders to be on the ground. Being on the ground is kind of super dangerous. Alrighty, ONFIRE breaks down that wall. In they go. Not seeing very much resistance from the defenders right now. Going for the backstairs yet again. This backstairs is a little dangerous, I would say, mainly because trebs do not land properly when you're trebbing that top of the stairs, and you don't have the good angle. But no suppression coming out from plebs. Plebs could have suppressed them there on the stairs. Really good spot, but there's a treb there. They're already up on this wall. They have massive presence. This shield man is about to be dominated. Also, pleb also takes a massive hit by that treb in the back. Yeah, no, this is the problem. This is a massive problem. Pleb also has a lot of cavalry on the ground. What are you doing? You need... Oh, man, maybe not, actually. Pleb... Nope, I take that back. Pleb is definitely getting dominated here. The Claymores... The Claymores have it. They are holding strong. This treb here is a little bit scuffed, though. Either goes in... If it goes high... Ouch! The Berserkers come in at the back. Oh, that is really, really a waste. Berserkers should be at the front because they're very difficult to kill, and if you don't kill them, they create a lot of value for you. Plebs. Plebs. you needed to either get out of there or fight them when they were coming up. Really bad choice to wait for them to get up. Because as you can see, they were able to prep really hard for you. Melted through one imp sphere in brace formation, and I jumped. And a yeah, no, that yeah, Branding Guards smacked them really hard. Varangian Guards have a problem where they can hit the entire unit. Um, I used one Shadow Shield and I killed an entire Shield Maiden. That's crazy. That's crazy amounts of damage. Alrighty, ONFIRE also takes C for free here. PLEB goes all the way back. Back. Lots of time though. This is not the kind of defense I was expecting out from plebs, but losing the wall is a hefty loss here. Plebs gonna have to be very careful now since it's a two-way street, and you either have cavalry coming from the front or cavalry coming from the back. You would expect a lot of cavalry coming from the back. ONFIRE just goes straight for that back section and dominating. Oh my god, ballistas are coming out. This is gonna be funny. If like pleb is gonna be in an awkward situation where their reinforcements literally has to deal with Medal sitting right out in front. They swung around. The only problem is that pleb still needs to hold that base point, but this could be a nice surround here. Oh man. Oh, ONFIRE goes in with a nice charge on the back section there. That is brutal. Locking up a lot of those guys. ONFIRE is on this point like crazy. Very strong. Very strong coming out from ONFIRE. Might take this wholesale. Pleb unable to do anything as they're getting locked up by a couple of spikes locking up that supply point. But Plebs is still giving it their all. They have a couple on the backside still stalling for time. A longsword about to make it. Barely any units left from Plebs by the looks of it. Getting stalled out super hard on the front. They seem to have been just jumping the shield. They're just jumping past the shield. They're not even killing the units. Pleb sacrificing their lives even though that they don't seem to have any security. I'm gonna have to say that Pleb is just making a desperate attempt. It's desperate, and I'm not sure if it's gonna be effective. Cavalry after cavalry charges through, but the Medals at the front able to slaughter them. Does make it halfway through the Medals though. If there was infantry engaged on that Medal, could have just had the cavalry eat right through. And bam! Victory for ONFIRE. ONFIRE, really good job. Nice maneuver for the base point, and I do think this is more to Plebs. I do think this is more to Plebs' fault. They took a really bad fight. They gave up the C point, and in the last section, I think they just could not get very much pressure on the front section and the back section simultaneously. So they ended up just not having the presence that's required in order to push out the enemy. Really thin line of defense here. Oh man, you just came back, Mesame, and Plebs just got smashed real fast. Looking at the scores just now. ONFIRE, super dominating. Yeah, very one-sided. After that performance, ONFIRE probably is in the road to take it wholesale. I think Pleb in this case was a little bit too cautious and couldn't take a proper fight. They were, again, a little bit too cautious. I think they could have benefited from just going in onto the enemy and try to brute force them. Uh, they were like the enemy was in an awkward situation, not an awkward situation, but they were in an unusual spot. So the response from well, I mean, first of all, the push towards the B point should have locked them up on the stairs. Definitely should have locked them up on the stairs. Yeah, no, I'm no surprise that the Zerkers owned on the wall. The problem is that they pulled cavalry. They didn't have full force on the wall, and they took a bad fight. Like the wall fight was a bad fight. I honestly think it was a bad fight. They let them up on the wall. They got trebbed. And again, treb is very dangerous when you're up on the wall. But when you suppress an enemy next to a stairs, and especially that back stairs, they can't hit you. That back stairs is untrebbable. So if you get to that back stairs, it'll either go high or low. If you're on that stairs already, that's really good for the defenders because if it goes low, it doesn't hit you. If it goes high, it hits them. So I don't know why ONFIRE goes for that backstairs so much. That backstairs is actually like is actually shooting yourself in the foot. But yeah, I still can't get behind plebs strategy in this case. The C also giving up the C. I think they might have been a bit too terrified of the treb after getting trebbed so often at the B point, but still nonetheless. I think also OnFire's maneuver for the back section of the base point allowed them to get a very solid, like, oh my goodness, like Mezume, since you missed it, the push onto the base point was so smooth. It looked so cool from OnFire that it was like okay, so I have to say it was like um it's like kind of how you're cutting the enemy's forces in half. They can't fight you on any angle. Even though you're surrounded, the enemy's not prepared and they cannot fight you. And that's what happened at the base point. They went behind. So you know how the base point has you can go to base point from C or you can go left towards the enemy spawn point. OnFire went towards the plebs spawn point, took that section, and then rotated to base while securing their flanks. It was so clean. Very amazing job out from OnFire. And OnFire is going to suffer a attack here on Sun City by plebs. Pleb, you're going to have to work. You're going to have to work very hard for this victory. You just lost your defense, and you're gonna defense. I think you have advantage, but on Sun City probably not as much. It's also good to note that the Berserkers are still coming back along with the Claymores. Claymores and Berserkers, like the Claymores were dropped. Looks like Pleb dropped the Claymores. They had quite a few Claymores, but it didn't look like it turned out well for them. OnFire instead, still bringing five Berserkers and a couple of Claymores. Not terribly a lot, but those like Claymores and Berserkers are the kind of units where you have to be careful because they can go out of control real fast. Like, those guys can wreck shit up. Pleb also doing something similar, spawning everyone at the B section. It would be kind of strange if PLEB also did a similar maneuver. Well, mainly because it's just like, if you do a similar maneuver to um ONFIRE, what's the bet that they have an actual plan to deal with you? Very slow approach for now. I don't think I don't think Pleb's applying very much pressure on ONFIRE, as they're just kind of milling around at some of the ladders. Having an easy time destroying these not trebs, the siege towers, as I don't think, uh, they did manage to destroy a lot of the naturals, so that's good. I don't actually know where the culverins are coming out from ONFIRE, if there is any, because they managed to destroy one of the siege towers. Could have been destroyed by some of the naturals, but that's very unfortunate. Yeah, I think when you go with double tier fives, you just end up with a lot of serfs. You end up with like two lots of serfs. So you can normally tell when a team runs out of units depending on how many serfs they have. In this case, pleb will be out of good tier units by 700 units, while on fire probably be out of units by around about four, maybe 500. Eh, actively defending the wall? Like, what do you mean by that? Waiting for Zerkers to climb up. On fire attacks Sun City, so it's a double Sun City. It's a double Sun City. Or are you talking about? Are you talking about the last time plebs fought this map? I can't remember the last time pleb fought this map. I can't remember. Yeah. Well, I don't think pleb has the berserkers in order to perform what On Fire did. On Fire, like, here's the thing: is just like pleb waited too long for On Fire to be in position before they started the fight. On Fire really got the initiative there. They needed to suppress On Fire the moment they went up those stairs and made it to the wall. Their shield maidens got eaten up for free. It's a slow approach for this one now. So, like, the difference in strategy is waiting, is one is pushing or waiting um, for the siege towers. Siege towers, eh, they're valuable. They're easy to get up from the front. After wasting so much time, pleb has to take that right hand siege tower. Going through the problem is that siege tower is, again, like, much easier to do than going through the gate and going up through the right hand stairs. It's just On Fire knows this, and they already have a squeeze prepared. So, like, no matter what happens, they're on this right hand side. They cannot go for the left hand side because that's where the supply point is. But It could be a good strategy. ONFIRE could be sent through a loop if they go through the front gate and take that left-hand stairs right now. But it's so telegraphed that they will go for this right-hand side. It's like not even a joke. There's 4 minutes. There's like 4 minutes and 15 seconds left to go. Pleb needs to make a move within the next minute, or they're not going to have even enough time to beat the enemy and take the point. So it's really cool that Pleb actually has a little bit of a distraction coming in for the B side. When they get up on this, these berserkers should drop instantly. They need to drop instantly, and they need to drop those guys on the right hand side. Those Iron Reapers cannot be left uncontended. Iron Reapers versus Iron Reapers. Imperial Pike Walk coming through. That Imperial Pike Walk is more valuable than... Oh, man. Also, we got some Imperial Spear Guards at the front from Pleb. Pleb is getting smashed by some Iron Reapers at the front. Those Shield Maidens need to charge in. Those Iron Reapers are definitely dealing a number to those Medals. But you are winning. That is the most important point. The Falconetti Gunners are too far. The Shenji grenades are dead. They are way too close right now without a front line. And the fall of the defending team instantly coming in hard for plebs. So, surprisingly, the sandwich was actually not strong enough. No, that's not even a death ball. That's not even a death ball because the defending team tried to death ball them with Iron Reapers, but it didn't work. They were able to actually deal with the Iron Reapers and an Imperial Pike March with the Imperial Spear Guard. The Imperial Spear Guard probably held off the Imperial Pike March for most of the Medals to survive it. The only problem is that the Iron Reapers should have been dealt with faster. The Iron Reapers dealt a number of damage, so even though the fight was quite... even though it looks like a good victory for Pleb, they still took heavy losses. I would say they're only up around about 5, maybe 6 units right now. It was still a good exchange. The problem here now is, what kind of strategy Pleb's going to take now? They've taken the wall, but they don't have very much time. Going for the supply is never worked out very well. How to say. They're also having skirmishing battles where they cannot afford to waste time. I would not be caught on these stairs. Either side. This Jewel Blade, way too far, gets clapped by Ryan. That skirmishing fight, definitely not what you like to see coming out from Pleb. Good for ONFIRE though. ONFIRE making those skirmishing fights really important, ticking down that strength one by one. It's not. It's like 2 minutes each. It's like 2 minutes each point. So, putting down artillery, not actually a good move. You need to be on the ground, pushing on fire. And the problem is that you don't have enough time to gain a big enough advantage in order to change the fact that you need to be on the ground to heading towards C, because most of your guys are infantry. You're going to get caught. You're going to get caught hard, and my goodness, there are two ways to go about this. Go through the front gate, or swing all the way to B and go through B side gate. I would go through B side gate mainly because they're all set up on this side, and ONFIRE doesn't really have a very good view on top of the wall. Pleb going down towards the supply point is I don't think it's a very good move because they're getting caught already. They're stuck on this stairs, and they can't get down properly. But the Nulfine Guards actually might change the dynamic here, as the central line is being deleted. Okay, the cavalry have not been engaged yet. It's good that Pleb hasn't pushed right across, otherwise they'd just get hammered by cavalry. They need to put pressure on that supply point so there is no pull happening from ONFIRE, and they need to start accelerating this battle now since they are on that point. They're losing. Whoa! How many? Wow, that was a massive pickup. 5 guys from ONFIRE just died. Holy cow, this could be a landslide right now towards the C point. Should put more pressure onto the C point. People should spawn at B, come in from the C, and that was surprisingly a good turnout. I honestly thought that ONFIRE could have held them at the bottom of those stairs, but that flamer, whoo-wee, turning up the heat with that flame, absolutely decimating that center section of the ONFIRE's infantry. A lot of the cavalry came up short, didn't even hit anything as they were charging their way through. Pleb, I'm surprised that ONFIRE is deciding to take this fight here at C. C is not really, like, you just spawned in and you're going to go in a disadvantaged situation. Why would you take that fight? You just sacrificed a unit. Big mistake coming out from ONFIRE to take that fight after a massive loss like that. 2 massive losses. This is going to be a landslide victory for plebs. There is no chance for ONFIRE to have enough resources in order to stall this. 4 minutes 30 seconds to go. I'm calling it already. Pleb can take the fight directly, but they're going for the far side supply. They're being a bit cautious, but it's good to be because they really want to win hard, and you cannot afford to let ONFIRE gain any advantages on you. But ONFIRE is at a massive disadvantage. They're down to 500 units, mostly surf units. They've got a couple of good tier units, but most of it's actually below tier 3. Actually, surprising to see some Ironcap scouts out. This is really bad, actually. ONFIRE catching one of the guys here. Cataphracts. Oh my goodness, Cataphracts gets stopped hard, but here comes the rest of Pleb coming towards that base point. A little bit of a catch for ONFIRE. Really bad for Pleb here, leaving some of your guys. Really need to shore up some of your flanks there, or make sure your guys are with you. The battle has begun, mostly dominated by plebs. ONFIRE doing a really, fighting hard, but honestly, there is no chance right now. The units, the sheer weight of units is massively in favor of plebs. Pleb have no reason to lose, except for the fact that there are only 10 heroes left for... Oh man, just swung back 9 now for the defenders and 10 for the attackers. It was 9 for the attackers and 11 for the defenders, but the defenders are clocked down to 7 now. They're going to lose more heroes one by one, and this is not good, as they were actually up on the hero battle just a second ago, and they just lost a whole bunch of them. Another massive loss in heroes. This is really good for Pleb as they kick them into the gutter. No troops out from ONFIRE. Really wasted a lot of troops early on. Again, losing 2 massive fights really cost ONFIRE a lot. It's a chaos. It was a chaotic battle. That was a nice. It was a good show of. Even if you're put in a disadvantaged situation, unit composition could come in huge. Both sides were in a defensive. Were kind of going defensive. Oh my goodness. You would think that ONFIRE probably were more prepared for Pleb to come down, but Pleb, I said that they were caught on the stairs, but maybe I was wrong. It wasn't that they were caught on the stairs. They wanted to be on the stairs. They didn't want to go down and faced the cavalry. The cavalry missed all of their charges. I don't think they killed a single thing. Flamers were game changer as well. Untouchable, untouchable on top of that stairs, but that angle, like crazy angle coming in on the side there, like on top of the stairs, shooting down towards the enemy infantry. On fire, scoring a little bit low in terms of unit kills. To be expected, losing two massive fights does lead to a low unit score. Um, Surprisingly enough, really big pleb score coming out, but on average, it is kind of it's only a little bit above on fire. So they were clocking down to about half strength by the end of that. So not only, oh my god, not only yesterday was a double field battle, but today also is another field battle. We're seeing a lot of field battles today, and I'm gonna have to be honest, like, both these teams, we watched both On Fire and Pleb fight it out yesterday, and they both went down to a field battle, and it's going to be another field battle. These guys are fighting with their all, and I love to see it. It's going to be hard for both sides to determine a victor. I'd honestly have I'd honestly be feeling the pressure if I was either of these teams. Both time like this is okay, so On Fire had a more dominant attack, but they still lost their defense. So both sides very surprising in performance. But if I was to put my finger on things, On Fire has very good initiative. They're really good at taking the initiative away from their opponents and placing their opponents in a bad situation, while while I would say, let's put it down like simple. While I would say pleb, kind of reversing their reputation with me as an aggressive team. Now they've gone for a more stable approach, really waiting for the enemy to make mistakes, and definitely um, really depending on the enemy to make mistakes, and the counter aggress the way they hold themselves in their own attack was very solid, much better than previous performances. Yeah. So how it works is there is a pick ban by the captains. So they ban a map and then they pick among the remaining which one they want to attack. In a draw, so either both of them win their attacks or both of them win their defenses. It will come down to a field battle on Grassland Assault. It used to be on Emerald River. I hate Emerald River. It's an awful map. No one should watch it. Sorry, no one should play on it because it is a huge map. It is a windy road, and honestly, it's just not fun to watch because like it's just really bad. I think Wuquin Mountain is a nice map. Grassland Assault, pretty cool. I think Wuquin Mountain is also a really good map they should play on. Also, like it has different rules as well. It's a point capture instead of. Oh, sorry, it's a bit hard to. It's a bit hard to explain. Um, if you don't know what it is, but like instead of instead of being base capture, so you capture points in order to open up the enemy base, then capture the enemy base. It's capture points. So you capture a point and you take away points from the enemy, and so if you so you win when the enemy runs out of points, or you have more points than the enemy when the timer runs out. But I don't think they'll go for Wuquin. I think Wuquin is very. I think Wuquin. I think Wuquin maps are really cool. It's a bit more open, and definitely could see some interesting strategies if it was deployed. Nevertheless, we have Grassland Assault coming up with between these two teams, and it is amazing. It is quite amazing today how like field battles are more common in the losers bracket so far than the winners bracket. A little bit sad that Pleb could not show the kind of resilience and solid teamwork. Well, not solid teamwork, but like I can't really tell if there's solid teamwork, but um, it was really strange how Pleb defended the first time. Um, but on the attack, there was a couple of situations where I'm just like, you're gonna be at a disadvantage here, but they came out on top. So I'm pretty sure on fire definitely shooting themselves in the foot, really playing badly in those cases, or pleb just playing really good. But anyway, we're here on the grassland assault. It's going to be the tiebreaker and final battle of the day. We have, interestingly enough, we have Pleb coming out with those Imperial Spear Guard. Um, Lots of cavalry, not to be unsuspected. Both sides going out with lots of cavalry, but those on fire again. You are scaring me with those berserkers. Those berserkers could come out huge in a case where cavalry cannot charge them directly. It would be cool if you had something like a Keshig to clean up the berserkers real easily. A lot of heavy armor for plebs, but a lot of pikes. So this is where unit matchup is going to be. Sorry, this is where hero matchup might be really important. The poleaxes might be able to pick up, maybe able to how to say, god damn it, the poleaxes might be able to catch the heroes, but the pikes are definitely going to be able to hurt the heroes. So many pikes coming out from on fire. On fire has the higher kill potential. It's going to be a tough fight for pleb to stay alive at the very least. A little bit weak on the medals, not very many how to say, not very many medals. An AC push coming out from on fire. Pleb might have the advantage if they can get infantry up on here. They're grabbing the B point. They really need to hold that B point, because if the B point gets captured as well as they're fighting there on the C point, it's going to be a tough fight to defend the base and the C point. So right now, forces heading towards the B point. Only a dual blade there to stop them, and the battle has fully kicked off. Claymore's not going to withstand all this cavalry. Medals finally get their way through, but the Claymores just takes another charge to the face. Berserkers also cleaning up. We got reverse charge coming in. We got Cataphrax also charging through. Pleb needs to keep resetting the that B point. They're on the back foot, but they just did a massive, like, both sides just lost a lot of enemy here, a lot of heroes. Pleb should be able to clean up the A point now with the with B point having most of the enemy heroes. And I'll be honest though, massive losses. Pleb actually, I like, even with less people there at the C point for on fire. I think on fire actually came out on top. Like, after all of that, on fire honestly probably came out on top there. I don't believe on fire lost more units than pleb. Pleb, like, even though they had more heroes at the end, where were your units? They died. And this is not good. Not good for the start of the battle as well. Coming out really big on pressure. B point now captured. Like, B point was captured in the meantime. C point still not captured somehow. I think the Berserkers charge, man. Berserkers are tough cookies. They don't exactly die if they don't exactly die. I'm going my goodness, like on fire, on fire. Like right now, Pleb is on the back foot. Yeah, we can't see anything on this zoom. It's a pretty big map. There's a lot of micro that is very important. The battle, the battle when it comes down to the jux, like the precise movements and stuff. Gotta be keen on the eyes to identify a lot of things. So I think Pleb realize that they are down, so they'll need to create themselves an advantage here. Really want to use those artillery. So a good point to note out is that both sides have access to only one artillery. This artillery could mean, oh, well, they're getting shot as well by ballistas, so that's not good. Both sides are taking pot shot at each other with artillery, and both sides really need to be careful. Artillery really can make up for the lack of range units, and really are used in place of skirmishing. The hard pointing in this case, it will. Okay, so Pleb wants probably. I didn't see the bagpipers. Are there bagpipers? On fire. Like, what is CBL and on fires? Like, why are you using bagpipers? Maybe they know something that I don't. Oh, I see it now. I see the blue musical aura on the heroes, though. I don't see the blue aura. Oh, there it is. Oh man, there is a. Wow, that's surprising. There is a bagpipers somewhere. Amya going for that back supply point, being a little bit of a nuisance. Oh man, nice. Look at that speed, my dude. He was out of there. Still putting pressure on this point, though. Mm, On Fire actually managed to pick up like 4 more unit kills. Ugh. There's the Bagpipers. Bagpipers. Okay, I've realized now that most of the time when Bagpipers or Alchemists are deployed, it's because there's a skirmish. There's a skirmish coming out. The ballistic, whether or not it's the ballistas or the autas, bagpipers and alchemists are apparently really good at helping you survive getting hit by just ranged units in general. So it makes you more resilient. So I'm not surprised that yet we're seeing these boys. I think we have a massive battle just kicking off right now. Pleb is dominating a little bit late coming out from on fire to get onto the point. Getting pushed right out. Cavalry charge makes it halfway through. Gets clapped by. Whoa! Cataphract coming in from the rear now, just slamming all the way through. The Medals could not hold, surprisingly. Um, well, I mean, yeah, the Medals could not hold. Pressure, a lot of pressure coming onto this base point. Pleb managed to clean them up. Holy cow, Pleb loses the attack there on the B point though. Being a little bit distracted there on the base point, not a single point cap, so that's a good hold by Pleb. Unfortunately, massive loss again. The turnaround for that was pretty fast. I didn't expect the cavalry to just blast right through the Medals. That was super fast how fast the Medals just fell. Not to mention they were in brace, but those cataphracts slammed in them so hard that it dropped super fast. Not to mention multiple charges, wing to start coming from the front, wing to start coming from the side, and then a cataphract from the rear. Pain, absolute pain. Anya at the back here, trying to disrupt the enemy reinforcement pool, but nonetheless, they still have to rock another attack, but we're already clocking down to near halfway mark for plebs. Pleb is probably out of good tier units. We still got a couple of good tier units coming out from on fire, but pleb, you didn't trade up on the C point, which is probably going to bite you in the ass here. Only shield maidens. There's a wing to Tsar. Wing to Tsar gets clapped though. Cataphracts there. The Howdier Sergeants holding? Hold strong, my dudes! Shields, get to the front, hold the line. Shield maidens now coming in, but the Medaus dominate the front as more and more units keeps pouring through. Cataphracts coming in, could aim for the back line, going for those heroes. Two of them get swept up with a nice charge from Cataphracts, and more pressure being applied to the B point. Both sides clocking down a lot of units, but the presence. Whoa! Cataphract come from the rear. The Medaus taking heavy damage. OF really holding that point. What happened? What? Why are both points open? I'm so confused. Oh, wait, yes, they captured it at the... Oh, my God. What am I doing? Anyway, Pleb surprisingly brought back the unit deficit here. Holy cow. I mean, Amya's at the back here all the time. I'm wondering whether or not he's out of units, but, like, that could have been huge if he did pick up a little bit of points from that. But Pleb is still fighting here on this B point, and they're fighting hard. Oh, I'll finish that. Cataphract comes in for another swing. These Cataphracts will be very crucial, and the Demez Pikemen stopping them. Amya stops the supply point. Probably not even need any use for that supply point anymore. I mean, let's be honest. It's just serfs. Pleb is clocking down to 1 minute 25 seconds right now, and they're sacrificing their lives one by one. Even Amya is getting in on this action. Unfortunately, Cataphract's coming in for on fire. If they swing it back, that, like, both sides are rushing to this B point, being captured by On Fire right now. It takes about 20 seconds if they have dominance on the point. So that's another 40-second hold for Pleb. Pleb cannot reach the point just yet. They're throwing in their units, but the units, they're just sheer mass of serfs right now. But look at the tidal wave coming in for plebs. Plebs might be able to draw away. The bagpipers are still alive. Oh my god, the bagpipers are still there. The damage is going to be enough. There's not another reset, but it's going to be flipped. Oh my god. If Amya stayed at the base point, the base point's undefended. Oh, wait, no, there's a person there. Never mind. No, wait. It is undefended. If Amya stayed at the back, he could have gotten it. Oh, my God. No. No. Oh, man. Ah. Damn. Oh, man. Pleb. Pleb. The bagpipers surprisingly were the thing that were allowing. Okay, so I'll be honest. I mean, like, I'm just guessing here, but the bagpipers could have been the factor that allowed ONFIRE to gain the advantage at the end. Yeah, like I'm your like in terms of logistics, Anya really disrupted ONFIRE's ability to kind of pull units, but PLEB did an amazing job pulling back the unit deficit at the last battle. Like the last battle, the unit deficit swung so hard. Um, I'm gonna put it down to the fact that if Pleb could have consolidated the B, oh man, here's the thing. It's just like if Anya stayed at the base point until the very last moment, there was no one. There was no one at the base point. Anya could have picked up a couple of points and actually won it for Plebs, but at the same time, you needed everyone to that B point. So I think OnFire realized that the Jewel Blade. I think they were watching the Jewel Blade, saying that he was there, but it's very unfortunate. Like we can see some moves that like they could have taken, theoretically taken, but it couldn't have. It might have not worked out. There's a unit, maybe. I'm okay. Like I'm gonna bet that OnFire would have been able to defend their base. There was no way by the end of um that pleb had enough units to pressure the base nor the B point. So they had to hold the B point somehow. They needed to kill off more of those serfs. Those serfs really stopped them from being able to get through. And I'm gonna put it down to the fact that like your serf units very important. Like people like in sieges, people throw away their surf units really easily, but in cases where it comes down to a surf versus surf, the bigger mass wins, the support the support from the bagpipers, the damage support was massive because it helped them kill the heroes, it helped them kill the other serfs, and to maintain advantage. That little bit of advantage for the serfs means a landslide victory in equal numbers. Not gonna lie, Amya's strat is going to be one of the meta for field battles. A bit half and half. The problem was that Amya didn't have any units, so it was like Pleb was playing handicapped with 14 guys versus 15 of the other guys. So Amya needed to really find ways to maximize his presence without being able to put pressure with units. So stopping the supply point really good, putting pressure on undefended points really good. Amya did an amazing job doing dual blade stuff or being a distraction, and it's the kind of pressure that a player really needs to put onto their enemy when they're out of units, because without a unit, the amount of pressure you have drops drastically. Also, that is done. We are done. That is a lot of battles tonight. 6 battles again. Amazing job. Both sides. Everyone. CBEL, MGK, Pleb, and OnFire. Every single one of you guys. Wonderful. Mwah, amazing. You guys also showed us really amazing plays on the Wednesday. I love you guys. I love all of these teams right now. You are very exciting to watch. And I'm loving the energy from both your teams. You guys are definitely fighting very, very, very hard. But anyway, the results for tonight, we had CBEL versus MGK tying up with both sides winning one all, coming out to the field battle. CBEL winning 2-0, I mean 2-1 against MGK. So MGK is out. PLEB versus On Fire, both winning 1 all, coming down to a field battle. We have 2 for On Fire and 1 for Pleb. So On Fire do move forward. We'll have CBL versus On Fire next on the Friday tomorrow, but we'll also have the main section of the tournament also have those the two guys that are left in the winners bracket. So we'll get to know the finals for the winners bracket, I believe. Or am I jumping ahead? Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I love you all. But that is all for tonight. I'll see you guys tomorrow on Friday for another set of CBEL. But other than that, my name's Azakai. Have a nice day. Bye now. Other hand? Bye now.